The Ace Man's back in Boston at the Wilbur Theater on Thursday, November 6th. Then Friday, November 7th in Buffalo, New York at Electric City. On Saturday, he's down in Duluth, Georgia, appearing with Megyn Kelly at Gas South Arena. Get tickets for these shows and more at adamcarolla.com. He's about to snap about all the liberals whining about SNAP. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. No choice. We're going to mandate you. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Ryan Sickler back on the show. He's got tour dates. He's got a special. He's got a podcast. He's got it all. And I think you should go. The special's called Live and Alive, and that's out as we speak to YouTube, on YouTube, podcasts, The Honeydew, and then also live dates. You can go to ryansickler.com for all the live stuff.
Thank you, brother. It's good to be back.
Good to see you.
You've done all the shows, actually, the way back as well. You had a great one about growing up in the Valley.
Yeah, I just ran into my old foreman, boss, partner guy, Tom Johnson, came out to a comedy show I did the other night.
Did you know he was coming?
No, no. I'm glad I didn't. I mean, not that I wouldn't get jittery, but I was more pleasantly surprised just to run into him in the lobby and sort of harken back to those days. It's also interesting how people remember stuff.
Yeah, I find that weird too. Like there are people. I have a very good memory. At least I think so. Compared to when I sit across from people like, how do you remember that from your childhood? I feel like you have that as well. But there'll be people. I just connected with an old friend of mine, Aileen Anderson, known her since kindergarten. She and her husband and boys.
Eileen?
Aileen.
Oh, because when you go Aileen Anderson, it sounds like that's a nickname. Like she had big ears or something. Like it sounds like saying Alien Anderson.
Yeah.
Right.
Aileen, and she said, do you remember when so at this time my parents are gone, and she's like, do you remember when you and your brother used to come over to our house?
Your parents are gone at what age?
Well, my mom split from the family earlier, but my dad's gone at 16. So 16
died.
Yeah, he's dead. My mom's gone, so it's just us, the three of us.
But your mom's alive.
Yeah, she's just gone.
But if you go, your parents are gone. One of them's dead, and one's alive. We're going to think they're both dead or both alive.
I mean, they might as well be dead. She left and literally didn't want us. Like went to court, was like, I don't want my kids.
How old were you when that happened?
Officially, once it all got down, 16. Yeah, it all happened.
But before that, she'd made it clear.
By ninth. Oh, she made it clear since I was in grade
school. Is that a drug addict, or is that something severely? Here's what I will say: men can do this and not be severely impaired. When women walk away from their kids, that's a big deal. In a world where we keep saying, gender affirmed at birth or assigned at birth, or there's no difference between men and women. There's a fuckload of difference between men and women. And if you show me a dad that moved to Florida and married a secretary when his kid was, 11, I'll go, all right, I get it, but it happens.
Kid can still make something.
Yeah, but when the mom does it, I go, oh, that mom was fucked up. Because moms don't do that.
Yeah, so we reconnected when my daughter was 2. This is about 8 years
not
ago
drugs.
now. No, that's the thing. And I even said to her, I never wanted to give you credit for anything, but you got to tell me, like, it was never an addiction, gambling, drugs, alcohol. And she said, nope. Just put friends before family. She's one of those people. Still is.
Was she abused? I mean, was there trauma? Because it's like it's
no
either
doubt,
drugs or trauma
so,
to get to this place.
Some of the trauma that I know of was her sister. Her name was Geraldine. She had married a guy in the service, and they were having a child in a military hospital, I want to say in Virginia. And there were complications, and her sister died. And she said she remembers her mom, my other grandmom, just screaming, you animals, like in that hospital, you killed my baby, you killed my baby, you killed my baby. So then she and her mother did not have a great relationship. But when you also don't know someone, that's as much as I know, right there.
Yeah.
So yes, there was. What was her problem?
My mom wasn't a fan of her kids either. So we have that in common.
She didn't have one that she was like, this one's all right. Listen,
Well,
none of us were.
She only had two
You know what
to
I mean?
choose.
No one were loved.
She only had two to choose from, and she wasn't a fan of either one.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I guess we moved out when we were about 13 or something. So we have, some of the same trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
But mom really abandoning. Your mom moved away.
Here's the other thing. When we say moved away, 3 miles away.
Right.
Like, it always blows me away. It's mostly, as you said, you hear the dads do this, but like, you're going to leave the whole, we can cuss, right? You're going to leave the whole fucking family and you're just going to move a mile away. Like, we could see you at the grocery store. That's not, like you said, a dad went to Florida, not a county over.
Did she visit?
No.
No contact?
No.
Nothing.
No.
All right. So that's a severely traumatized person.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say. Did she start a new family?
No new family. She did get remarried to a guy. He passed away, and then she was long term with another gentleman who also passed away.
Did
3 of them killed 3.
Did the guy sort of go, hey man, you got your kids 3 miles away as the crow flies. Why don't you swing by and say hi, get them a teddy bear for Christmas or something? Did the guys, you think, try to sort of move her toward the light?
No. The second guy was a Vietnam vet who ended up dying from complications to, whatever happened over there later on, cancers, all these things.
Yeah.
So he stayed with her, and just recently, I guess his illegitimate daughter reached out to me. And so I'm like, why is my mom's bullshit showing up to my show in Portland, Oregon right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? And she's like,
up.
that guy was this and this. And I'm like, okay, so he was a shitty dad. So it makes sense to me that a shitty dad will be cool with a shitty mom.
So your mom abandoned you and who else?
2 brothers.
2 brothers.
Yes.
And, the moms cut deeper than the dads. They just do. So that's trauma. That's an issue, but it also speaks to who your mom was. And again, minus the substance part, it really speaks to.
It's more disturbing.
I would say it is more. I would say it is more disturbing. So, but you reunite at some point.
Yeah, so I was saying, Aileen Anderson said, remember when my mom used to make you
guys...
Anderson.
To make... You have to say Eileen Anderson. You can't go Aileen Anderson.
Let me go slower
because
with my
it
accent.
sounds like you're saying...
Anderson.
Oh, sorry. Aileen, pause, Anderson. Aileen Anderson.
Used to come over at Christmas and help us
in her
decorate
spaceship,
our tree.
And she'd beam your mom up, and then they'd do... anal probe, and then she'd beam her back down into a cornfield, and then they'd make a crop circle.
I don't remember any of it.
Aileen
said my mom used to make you guys lasagna, and you'd come over 2 Christmases, and you helped decorate our tree. And I was like, man, I have a great memory. I definitely must have been going through it at that, because I don't remember that. She's like, pretty sure we have a picture of that. So, back to your point, like, I remember a lot, but there was definitely something going on there, because... it's a wild time too. We're twins, so I'm 16, my brother's 16, my younger brother's 13, and we're just living in this little apartment by ourselves.
How's your dad doing? Is he keeping it together?
He was. I mean, he died when he was 42, but he was working doubles. He's driving from Baltimore to Washington. Back then, it was National Airports, Ronald Reagan. Now he's working for Pan Am. He's a crew chief for Pan Am.
42?
Yeah.
Why so young?
Well, a few things. His wife is cheating on him. He's getting a divorce.
His wife is your mom?
Yeah. My mom's cheating on him.
Okay.
He's getting a divorce now. And then he has a heart attack. And this is all stress and everything's going on. And then what he doesn't know, that I find out at 42, is that I've got this genetic blood disease that he had that they didn't know. And that's actually what killed him. The clots and everything killed him.
Well, I heard you just had a semi-recent scare with clots.
It was a couple of years ago, but it's what my special Live and Alive is about. Like, I went in for a simple back surgery. I'm fully aware that I have this blood disease. I tell them, please don't let me lay still without moving me or doing something, and they don't listen. And the day they tell me I can go home, I'm in there about 5 or 6 days. I stand up and I clot. I collapse on the bed. When I wake up, they tell me I'm lucky to be alive, and the clots have gone through my heart. Now my heart's twice its size. And then they tell me the next 48 hours are touch and go. I have to call my daughter's mother and tell her I might die. I called my business manager, and we were just joking. I was like, remember we were joking about this? This shit's real. And because of the blood disease, they can't do the procedure where they go through your groin and vacuum the clots out. They tell me because of that, I could brain bleed and be a vegetable. So I've got to go the old school route, which is IV blood thinner. Once my body can take that, they'll give me a needle. Once my body can take that, it's an oral pill, and then I can go home. So I'm 3 weeks in there.
3 weeks.
3 weeks waiting for my body to, first of all, thank God I live, and then adjust to this medicine, and I can go home with this pill now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's all
But your
a
dad
mistake.
never knew.
But my dad never knew. I find that out at 42 because I clotted at 42 the first time. That's why I'm armed with this information going in here. Like, hey, this happened to me, and I know I'm not going to make it. If I have another one, I'm not going to make it. And they tell me you have a genetic blood disease called factor V. Now you have to tell your brothers and everyone in the family, get tested. And they all get tested, my mom included, and none of them have it. So I get it from my dad. His mom dies at 69, and she had it as well. We're figuring it all out. So I'm the first person to figure out what, when you died at 42 in the 80s, they just ruled it heart disease. They didn't know. And now they're telling me that with all the knowledge and equipment in the, ever-changing world, that they probably misdiagnosed a lot of young deaths, may have been clots.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. If I was the doctor, I'd be like, look, we did a genetic test. You did test positive for factor V, the clotting disease, and your family owns slaves. Maybe I should have separated those two, but I don't really have a great bedside manner. And we did a full check on you and your family, and we went all the way down the tree. And we found this clotting thing, but also slave ownership. And as a matter of fact, your great-great-grandfather would have owned more slaves if he had not died on his 39th birthday because of the clotting.
Yeah,
so
young.
it is kind of connected. So those are the two things you need to know.
Thank you, Dr. Carolla.
We can do something about the clotting.
Yeah.
The whole slave thing,
Which I'll carry.
you got to make your peace with that we don't really have an injection or nothing. There's no catheter for that. That's what I'm saying. I wish there was. And God willing, one day we'll live in a place where there will be. But as of now, we can only do the blood clot thing. We can't do the slave thing.
Well, I appreciate anything you can do here now. I'm on my deathbed.
I'm just going ahead and mark your door accordingly because I want the night nurse, who is a woman of color. I want her to know that there's the clotting situation, and then obviously
also,
the slave history as well. Okay, so I'm just put that.
Yeah.
My family, I realize, I don't know whose family was more fucked up, but I haven't told this story in a million years, but it was a crazy story, and it really shows how fucked up my family was, which is my mom was sort of like your mom, and she wasn't a fan of her mom. And her mom went to the hospital and when she was very old. And my mom told me a story when she was alive, probably, I don't know, 8 years before my mom died. But she said, look, when I go into the hospital or whatever, when it's you got to make sure and put the do not resuscitate on the door of the hospital room that I'm in, because I don't want to be resuscitated. And I was like, done and done. I'm like, your Volvo wagon's going to be on eBay while you're still technically still alive. Your body's going to be warm, but the wagon's going to be up on eBay while you're still warm. So I'm like, all right. And so she was like, and by the way, you can't put the do not resuscitate sort of in the room on the thing, because if you flatline, they'll just come busting in and resuscitate. You got to put it on the door before they come in. They know DNR. So I go, yeah, okay. She goes, let's not let happen what happened to Mom, my grandmother, her mom. She had the do not resuscitate thing too, but they didn't put it on the door. They put it in the room. And then she was visiting her, and she went downstairs to get a cup of coffee, and Mom grandma flatline, but they didn't see it. So they burst in and they resuscitated her. So she goes, so I came back with my coffee and she was still alive. And I'm like, that's your hard luck? That's your hard luck story?
That's what happened to you.
You went down to Starbucks and 20 minutes later you came back and your mom was still alive and she's like, let's not go through that again. Because that was tough on all of us. And I said, yeah. So it's
also, it sounds
it's brutal
like you're
when your
taking
mom
that
is
trip
alive.
because you know she's about to check out. And then you come back, you're like, what
happened?
What'd you guys do?
Oh, you got to sue the hospital. When I left, this bitch was alive. When I came back, Your Honor, still alive.
Imagine being angry about that.
It was the part where she used it as a cautionary tale for me.
How old are you at the time, too?
I was probably like 50, and I was like, so you mean I could leave and then come back and you'd still be alive, and that would be a major issue with this family. That was the weirdest.
That is wild to say to somebody. Like,
That
let's
is a
make
weird-
sure when I'm dead, and I stay dead.
Yeah, I just want to stay dead.
Yeah, I just want to stay dead.
Yeah, when I flatline.
How long did your grandma live after they brought her back? Please say like 10 more years. To 106.
I don't know. A year? I don't know. I'm like, listen.
From dead to anything else.
I told
sounds
my
like it's a
mom,
problem.
when you flatline, I don't care how many people come in here, I'm not pulling that pillow off your head. I will not.
Yeah.
It'll take 80 guys to get that pillow
you're
off
done.
your face.
I promise. You're
I
fucking
promise
done.
you.
Yeah.
I brought an extra pillow. Yeah, I should figure out. My grandmother made it to like 92 or 93 or something. She made it for a while. And I don't know how much long. I don't know if she got home from the hospital. I just like that my mom thought this was a teachable moment in terms of family. And you got to make sure that DNR's on that door because they will miss it if they just come in and it's on the paperwork. All right, Andrew, you can set the clock in here, or Dawson, perhaps. Stuff to... anyway, yeah, I was doing a comedy show. I ran in my old foreman, partner, guy I used to work with, like swinging a hammer. Interesting. Kind of nice.
What's he do now?
He swings a hammer.
Is he running a show or is he still swinging out there?
Oh, he's running something. I mean, all the guys, trades guys, I'm trying to think. Guys, lawyers move around. They go from job, he's a producer now or whatever.
Right.
He's a potter. Construction guys are just doing more construction.
I just mean he's probably aged out of it if he was your foreman when you were younger.
Yeah, he was only a few years older than me. He wasn't that much older than me. And we met on a job and he just sort of cherry picked me. And then it was just me and him sort of driving the highways and the byways in his van out working. And he taught me a lot of stuff. So I was sort of happy. I was sort of grateful to see him. And it was nice. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I think there's something to it. It's nice for him because he remembers me sitting in his van, fucking around the whole time. But I also was like, I took it seriously. Like, I was like, I want to learn, stuff. I'd like to be a better carpenter. I want you to teach me stuff. He always took the time, and sort of went, here's how you do it kind of thing. Lots of tricks, lots of, I wouldn't call them shortcuts, but like sort of ways to get it done cleaner and faster and that kind of stuff. And it stuck with me and I appreciated it.
What's the first thing you built for yourself where you were like, fuck yeah? I mean, before shows and all that stuff, what's the first thing you did for yourself? Did you ever build a shed or anything like that for yourself? Work, anything?
I have this weird memory of having this yearning to build myself a bookshelf when I lived in my dad's garage when I was 18, and I just had this thought I'm gonna build a bookshelf, and I went down to the lumber yard and I bought 1x12 knotty pine and pegs and stuff and drill bits and I got it all home. And I started in on it, And then I kind of realized I don't know how to build anything. Like I hit the ground with a lot of momentum, you know, and I was like pretty cocksure, and I was like, I'm going to build myself this thing. And then I realized I didn't know how to build. And it was weird. It was kind of a weird, sobering moment where like you have this yearning to do this. It's kind of, if you are a builder, it kind of is like when you're 13, but you really don't start your masturbation career until you're 15. But you find yourself staring at Playboys, just kind of staring at them. And you don't really know what you're doing. You're just staring real hard at them, but you're not masturbating. Like nothing's happening. You just like, that's the beginning. That's the dream. I guess it was that way for building. Like I wanted to build. I just didn't have tools or skills or anything. And then, then I walked onto a job site and then, pretty soon. But there were like lots of tricks and lots of stuff to learn and digest and stuff like that, and he was always keen to teach me all that stuff, and I learned a lot of videos.
I watch these guys get up on roofs, and they're like, and you just simply do this, and I'm like, simple, and they drop that piece of wood, and they're, and then they cut it. I'm like, God damn, that is perfect.
It's good.
There's some good stuff out there, some shitty stuff out there too. My brother had a similar thing. He bought a project car.
Twin?
Yeah, my twin brother. Mm-hmm. He bought a project car. He bought I want to say it was a white Dodge 68 Challenger, which nowadays he's mad at himself because his thing's fixed up
yeah.
But this was every day after school. Again, we have no parents, so we're the spot everybody goes to. It's just
your dad's out
driveway.
about.
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead by then.
He's dead. And we just got this little gravel driveway, and it's just parked there. And every day these clowns are trying to get this thing just to turn over. It won't even turn over. And our entertainment is just sitting on the porch with some beers, watching these yahoos try to get this thing started. And they're pouring gas in the fucking carburetor.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's shooting up out of them. Like, you guys are never getting this thing started. And I mean, after months, one day, boom, and I shot up out of my chair like, no fucking way. The whole neighborhood heard it, and it sounds so good. I'm like, oh my God, you fucking guys got it started. So we're all pushing it now. We want to get this thing out. The neighbors are coming over. Everybody's excited. We go pushing that my fucking thing said, and it never started.
That was
again.
it.
They turned it over one fucking time. Yeah, that was it. They got it once.
It's kind of weird. All the hours and the hours and the hours spent wrenching, trying to get stuff to work, frustration, putting stuff back together, tearing down, rebuilding. Like I think about the months, the hours, the years, like I got into that myself. Like your brother just didn't have the skill, didn't have the tools, but a lot of will.
Either. If you had YouTube, you could put that thing right up and get that thing started.
No, but and so you go, I guess it was a waste of time, but on the other hand, I was learning something through mostly error than trial.
Also staying off the street. They're just for hours they're there working on that car.
Yeah.
What do you know about drift racing? I sponsor my stepson started drift racing. I sponsor his car. We got a Honeydew race car out there on the tracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm new to drifting. I know racing as against the clock or against a competitor.
So he got a 240 SX, or what's he drifting?
He did. He traded that in for a BMW, and I don't know what that is.
3
BMW
Series,
something.
probably.
I think it is a 3 Series.
The 240 SX was the sort of weapon of drifter choice back in the day, and now it's open to Mustangs, and like they opened it up to everything now.
Everything. There's cars out. There's a guy that's got an old cop car out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he put a manual in it, so he's out there practicing a manual transmission in this old.
The drifting, I'm not a drifting expert. I will tell you this. I did win the Toyota Grand Prix celebrity race once because I was talking to a guy who was in the pro division, and he was fast. He was a drift guy, Tanner Faust. He was an off-road guy. But anyway, good guy. And I said to him, where's a good place to pass? Or, how can I win this race? And he goes, well, at the end of the back straight into the turn 11 or whatever it was, He goes, the day before they have the drifting competition, and that's where they go. They go right around there. They go down that straight, and then they drift around that corner, and then they whip it back the other way, and then they end up at Shoreline. But he goes, all those drifting guys are going on Friday, and then you're racing Saturday morning, and they're going to leave a lot of rubber on that corner because they're spinning their tires, and they're going to leave a lot of rubber. And that means that corner's sticky on the inside. So he said, while other guys are braking and setting up and getting ready to do their turn, you stay on it. You brake real deep, and you go inside, and you'll get the grip because they just laid down all that rubber from the day before. And I said, okay. And I won the race. And that's where I passed the guys.
Is that right?
Yeah, because there's that part of life. Just like Tom Johnson told me how to rip plywood.
Well, that's what I learned, too, about this damn sport here is how much tires are. And I didn't know. I'm like, wait, bro, we're going through how many tires on this damn thing? And then I just realized, I always thought, I grew up, you got a race car, that's your car. These are just a chassis, and they're replaced, bang, bang. These are they're falling apart out there. Bumpers
so you're
are coming
sponsoring
off.
This drift car.
Yeah.
And your nephew's driving it?
My stepson, my daughter's brother. They share a mom. So he's out there drifting.
Oh, wait a minute. That's on.
So I have a daughter.
Your daughter's brother.
They share a mom.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Your daughter's brother's your son, right?
My stepson.
Your stepson.
Yes.
Okay, your stepson.
Yeah.
Okay, your daughter's brother. But anyway, your stepson is drifting.
Yes.
And
this looks like a video of it right here.
Well, maybe we'll have a video of it.
Is this
and how much can you win drifting these days?
Man, if you're good, you can win a lot. He's
got a Z car.
Oh, Z, that's right. He had a Z. Yeah.
Right.
And he's pretty damn good at it.
Does he? And it's points, right?
So that's what I don't like about this. It's very much like boxing. Where it's left
Olympic
up
boxing.
to boxing in general, it's left up to a judge.
Yeah, but in professional boxing, you can knock someone out.
You can, yes.
And you can in Olympics as well. But Olympics is more points, and it's not as satisfying because the guy didn't do any damage, but he threw a lot of jabs.
Yeah.
So
I'm watching this, and I'm like, why aren't you passing? And then he explained it to me. You go 2 laps. I'm going to go first. This guy's going to go second. The guy in second's job is to mirror the guy in first and follow him and sort of dance his dance the best he can. Then we're going to switch. And then the guy in first is supposed to hit these corners like you're seeing. And there's white lines on the edge of these tracks. And the goal is to put your tires or ass end as much as you can right there in that white when you go.
Are you up at Willow Springs, by the way?
This was Willow Springs, yes, sir.
And you're on the streets of Willow, not the big track, but the streets, which is up above the big track, which is pretty cool.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I know so.
And and then this is his first time out there, so they're getting banged up. But then at the end of it, these guys decide who won the race. You know what I mean? It's
the
not
judges
a clock.
decide.
Yes, that's what I don't like. It's like
but not the drivers,
nephew.
the judges.
No, the judges. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's different for me because I'm like a clock or a clear head-to-head is the winner, but they're like, nah, this is more of a different kind of thing.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You know these guys. They keep your car on the road. That's all they do. And you don't want to be the guy stuck on the shoulder, looking like a dope, steam coming out from under the hood. Friendly, helpful service people that actually know their stuff, not just some kid who'd rather be on his phone. I go to O'Reilly, been to O'Reilly. I was getting my car prepped for a race a few months ago. I was going to O'Reilly. They got a bunch of them. I go whatever. I go the Glendale one. I'd go the one up on Foothill in La Crescenta. Thousands of parts and accessories stocked in-store and online. So you don't have to panic when the check engine light appears. Need wiper swap, brake lights out. These pros will help you. They'll get what you need, or they can hook you up with a local shop if you're not a DIY type, but why not work on it? So whether you're a gearhead or you don't know a lug nut from a donut, they'll walk you through it. No attitude, just real help. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. Stop Box. All right, I've seen Stop Box in action, and I've got to say, it is pretty impressive. No keys, no codes, no batteries, just this smart mechanical box that opens with a quick hand motion. The design is all about speed and security. You can lock up your firearm, but still get it instantly if you need it. It's kind of one of those, why didn't somebody think of this sooner ideas, which is always means it's a great idea. The craftsmanship is great, made right here in the USA. You can feel that solid build quality just by picking it up, like a good tool in your hand. And because it's 100% mechanical, you never have to deal with dead batteries or glitchy electronic. I've seen them tested, handled a demo, and they really deliver. Secure, simple, and fast. Plus, they're TSA compliant, so it's perfect if you travel with your firearm. It's a great piece of technology. Check it out. Right, Dawson?
For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off at StopBox when you use code Adam at checkout. Head to StopBoxUSA.com and use code Adam for 15% off your entire order after you purchase. They'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
You know what else is really cool is even though these guys, as entry-level guys, they're competing against one another, but as soon as one of them has a problem, they all run over and help. They're just gearheads, you know what I mean? They love to work on the cars and fix the problems. Here's a crazy small world story. So there's this little BMW. It's a 3 Series out there. It's got this big American flag flying on a white one. He's just tear-assing all around the track. And I tell a friend of mine who I've known since 9th grade, he just coincidentally works for GE, but he lives in Temecula, and he has for a while. And now our daughters are best friends. We go back to children as best friends. And I'm telling him, he knows my stepson. His name's Derek. And I'm telling my buddy Jim about Derek doing this drifting. And he goes, "What's that racing you told me about?" And I go, "Drifting." He goes, "Yeah, man, the guy who dog sits for us has a roommate, and he's got one of those cars." And I was like, "Really?" And he takes a picture of it. And I go, "You're not going to fucking believe this." I go, "I think that's the guy that I was telling you about in the BMW." So he says to him, "Do you know Derek?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I just helped him work on his car." And I'm like, your dog sitter's roommate and my stepson know each other from the drift world? Like, the drift world is this big. The odds of that happening to two people like that, I'm like, that's crazy. And they're like, "Yeah, what's up? How you doing?" I'm like, that's wild to me. That's wild to me.
The great magnet works in mysterious ways. All right, so drifting aside, I got a clip because I don't know, something's going on, but Kamala Harris is out making the rounds, and for some reason, people are now asking her follow-up questions. I feel like the press is, I don't want to say emboldened, but they got caught. They're basically like an umpire that got caught calling a game for their son who was pitching. And he was bouncing balls to home plate, and they're going, "Strike 3!" And that went on for a decade.
That's what I'm worried about with these judges in the damn drift racing. It's going to be that result.
Somebody said to him, "You're going to have to start kind of doing your job sort of a little bit. Otherwise, people are just going to completely tune out and not listen to you anymore." And there's this Kamala clip where I guess someone was asking some follow-up questions. And this same woman, she's Australian. Well, we'll listen to it.
I want to come back to the book and the purpose of the book. So
this is the last question. We're at time. We gotta go. Sorry.
Yep. Well, that's almost a first, not an absolute first, but to have a member of staff of the former Vice President of the United States actually speak up during the interview to say that we were going too long. I didn't expect that. But coming back to the interview itself, it seems to me at its very heart, there is a reluctance on the part of Kamala Harris to actually spell out and talk about the issues that Joe Biden had as president. Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as President of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate. I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that prolonged frailty question? Now, we saw the debate. We saw the difficulty he had marshalling his thoughts.
I have answered that question. I do not believe that
I think it's just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity wasn't present.
I talked about that in the book.
It's in the book, but it seems to me she doesn't want to say it on camera. I asked her that. She denied it, but I think there is still a reluctance there to criticize Joe Biden, which makes her current pivot a really difficult one because she's Joe Biden's vice president. It seems she's still not prepared to completely condemn him, but she's got to be a character in her own right without Joe Biden attached in order to have a chance to run again.
You can stop there. Andrew, I think I liked it, but there's a clip of just it uninterrupted, sort of unedited, where she just sort of asked the question. And it's weird because it's so strange to see these people ask a follow-up question because we haven't seen it in so long. And I guess there's something about Australia because Australia 60 minutes is a lot harder hitting and sort of down the middle versus Australia versus 60 minutes United States, which is more left-leaning, which is kind of interesting. They'll get into stuff, and you'll go, what? That's 60 minutes? And they go, that's Australia, 60 minutes. So there's something going on with Australia and their news agencies that are different than our own. But this is the actual long-form question. But she just says in the middle of it, she goes, you didn't answer my question, which you scream at the TV set all day long for the last decade, but nobody's being interviewed. The interviewers don't, but here it is.
Wasn't Joe Biden then, to put it on him, wasn't his refusal to recognize his own frailties the reason that you faced a nearly impossible task?
I ran against Donald Trump for president, and Donald Trump ran on a platform that was, in large part, I believe, misrepresenting his intentions to the American people. I do believe that there are a fair number of people that voted for Donald Trump who believed him when he told them that his first priority on day one is going to be to bring down prices. And he didn't. And you combine that misrepresentation of intention with also what was at play in terms of massive amounts of mis and disinformation.
Now, forgive me.
And a truncated calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it is not the question that I asked you.
All right, pause it. You'll never see. See, that's never been said. That's never been said in the United States to a Democrat, ever. They could have brought it up to Joe Biden. They could have brought it up to her. They could have brought it up to Gavin Newsom. Could have brought it up to Kamala Harris. All of them, for the last 5 years, that has never, no one has ever went, excuse me, that's not what I asked. That's all. You're fucking journalists. We got to go overseas to get this kind of journalism.
Not just overseas. You got to go all the way down to Australia.
You need
gotta go down
a 26-hour flight in order to find some decent journalism, everybody. They're waking up a little bit, but yes, Kamala Harris, miss word salad, miss talk out the clock, going to the four corners, stall it out, run out the game, is finally having someone stop her and go, that's not the question I asked, which is very interesting. You'll just never see it. Now, I would argue Kamala will never go back and have another interview with this person, and that's why they do it. It's a tacit agreement. They go, we want them to come back, so we're going to ask nothing. But if everyone just did it, then they would have to come back because everyone would be doing it. All right, well, we'll go back 10 seconds just to hear her do it again, which is fun.
I want to calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is a world-class pivot, but it is not the question that I asked you, which is about Joe Biden's failure to recognize his own frailties and what that did to you. The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went on.
What exactly would you like to ask? Be more specific.
She's angry now.
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate.
I do believe that Joe Biden had the capacity to be president of the United States, and I have never doubted that he had the capacity to be president of the United States. If you want to talk about whether he had the ability to endure what a race for president of the United States would require in that political environment in 2024, as I've said in the book, I had concerns.
I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that prolonged frailty question? We saw the debate, we saw the difficulty he had marshalling his thoughts.
I have answered that question. I do not believe that
I think it's just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity wasn't present.
I talked about that in the book, and I also mentioned the context in which that debate occurred. And you'll probably remember how I talked about that in terms of what his travel schedule had been,
That's the best part.
what he had been enduring in terms of the timing of that debate. I talked about
I'd pause it there. What he endured as it pertained to the timing of it, was it 6 o'clock Eastern? Or what do you mean the timing? Nobody woke him up at 4 a.m. and said, it's debate time, bro. Okay.
But you're also saying that the entire time you had no issue with him, did you not believe he was frail or incompetent or unable to do the job up until, 2 months before? What are you talking about?
He went to Camp David and prepared for 2 weeks. Literally. And Air Force One has a full-size, probably a California King in the back of it. I mean, Air Force One has a bedroom. You can sleep all the way from D.C. to wherever it was. And this thing of he went to Europe 14 days early. Yeah. But by the way, everyone has this fucking schedule. Do you know what I mean? It's the craziest. I'm doing the Wilbur Theater in Boston. I'm doing it on a Thursday.
He is not as frail. Listen, Joe Biden's no idiot. When he saw that bullet hit Trump's ear, he was like, fuck this. I'm done.
Right.
That was it. It wasn't anything else. He was like, oh, okay. Well, never mind. You all can have that shit.
What I'm saying is honestly, I'm doing the Wilbur Theater on Thursday in Boston. It's a 7:30 show. I'm not leaving 3 days earlier and getting acclimated to the time zone and
the food,
spending times in a hyperbaric chamber or anything. I leave LAX on an 8:30 flight on Thursday. And then I land at 5:30, and then I get my shit together and get to the theater and walk out on stage for an hour and a half. You can do it. Mm-hmm. You can get your shit together.
But by you telling us that he just had this grueling schedule and that's why he's sort of off of his game, is you telling us that he's not able to do the job, because that's the job.
Yeah.
That's the job. That's part of the job.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's like saying this guy can't coach a football team because of the long hours.
Yeah,
it's
they got to go to Detroit on a Thursday and then they're back over here on a Monday. What are you talking about? That's the job. That's the job.
Well, also, go back 20 seconds, but I mean, he literally went to Camp David and rehearsed and practiced for 2 weeks. And called it a night at 8 o'clock every night. What's the part where he was so depleted that he couldn't? I mean, this is basically, let me explain what this is. Back in the day, when you'd hear that the lead singer of Blur had to cancel the concert series because of dehydration. The guy's 26. Yeah. That ain't dehydration, bro. That's something. That's right. He canceled the next 10 dates because go fucking pound a Pedialyte in the wings and you'll be back. And by the way, you cannot dehydrate a 26-year-old. The point is you have all the greatest medicine and the medical staff and all the beds and all the everything you need. You can just get a good night's sleep the night before, get up that day, and go out and do a debate. But we'll hear it. Let's see. Let's hear what he
with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity wasn't present.
I talked about that in the book. And I also mentioned the context in which that debate occurred. And you'll probably remember how I talked about that in terms of what his travel schedule had been, that what he had been enduring in terms of the timing of that debate. I talk about it extensively in the book. I'm not shying away from that. That's why I wrote it in the book, because I do know it's a question people had.
Okay. The travel schedule was, I'm going to Camp David for 2 weeks. And then the timing was, I don't know, whatever time in the evening.
From
they do a
D.C., that's Camp David's in Maryland. It's right there. What's that, a 15-minute flight?
What is, I can tell you from flying private a little bit, when you're in the lap of luxury, time isn't even a thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-hour flight or a 90-minute flight. It doesn't matter.
And we're not flying on Air Force Ones either.
Yes, we're not. I mean? If I had a bedroom and a shower in the back.
Yeah.
Right. Andrew, you say Google AI has a overview result of this question, which I would get. Let's see. These are the results. In the 6 days leading up to the June 27th, 2024 debate with Joe Biden intensely preparing at Camp David, which included reviewing policy, mock debates, blah, 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 blah. But this debate prep was impacted by travel fatigue from 2 prior European trips. Ryan's 1,000% correct.
That's the job.
If you go to Europe and you come back and you're fucked up because of the time change for the next 7 months, you cannot be the leader of the fucking free world. And by the way, doesn't affect Trump at all.
Everyone who's ever been the president before him, it's affected.
Trump is in Malaysia like one weekend, and he's in Perth the next weekend. He's in China the following weekend, and then he comes back and does a 5-hour presser. So, yeah. But anyway, his travel to Europe several weeks earlier threw him off.
2 trips, Adam.
2 trips. 2 trips where you can sleep on a king-size bed in the back of a plane.
You're not flying from California to Europe. You're going just across the pot. It's a cross-country flight.
All right. Anyway, Kamala's done, and there's going to be no more of this, and it's a new world order and whatever the bullshit.
I'll tell you when I turned the debate off, when both of these men up there started to argue, because I'm down the middle and I can't stand either fucking side. When they started arguing who was the better golfer, I was like, I'm done. And so are we as a country. And so are we.
I was.
I can outdrive you. What the fuck are you talking about right now?
I do love that. And
he wasn't too tired to fucking sit up there and talk shit about his golf game, though.
I'll tell you I do. In a weird way, I kind of like that moment, even though I realize, how... Look, again, I don't often say the terrorists are right, but in this particular case, they make certain points. They're out there looking for clean water, dealing with ethnic cleansing, living underground, and we're like, I got a better handicap than you. They're literally talking about their golf game.
These 2 old white guys are talking about their golf handicap, and we're all hanging in the balance over here. Like, what?
Yeah, I wonder if that isn't. That
was
an
it for me.
Point.
I was like, I'm done.
I also Glamour magazine in the UK. Put 9 men on the cover. It was kind of interesting. So people kept tweeting me this, and I was looking at Glamour magazine from the UK, and it was 5 trans on the cover. And I was looking at it, and they just looked like attractive women to me, but they started off as dudes. And the thing that was funny, it says the dolls, Glamour dolls. It says Women of the Year or whatever. I don't know. Women of the Year. And so I was looking at it, and I was going, how come there's no fat women on here? Because if you do women these days, and you get 9 models together, one has to be a plus size model. Like that's the new world order. If you're a woke magazine, one has to be fat, maybe 2 or 3 need to be Lizzo size models, but these are all dudes. And so you don't need the plus size he, she model because we're already covered in the woke department because their junk is tucked between their legs. So we're covered. But I didn't know it was he, she, because it just says dolls, the dolls, women of the year. And I looked and I was like, oh, they're not. I thought it was refreshing that you didn't have to represent with a fat chick on the cover of the magazine. And then I realized you're all dudes. And then I was back to reality, which is, of course we are. But I will ask you, Ryan Sickler.
Sure.
And this bolsters and proves my point. Whenever they do women, and even if they do the Victoria's Secret, Angel Walk, Wings, whatever, they need plus size. They need representation for some plus size. Dude models do not have any fat dude representation. There's no Artie Lang in his underpants walking the catwalk. It doesn't.
Plus size is like steroid dudes.
It doesn't really exist. We just get the best looking dudes or the skinniest dudes we can find. So we don't have that representation, which is interesting. I kind of wish we did. I mean, why not open it up to plus size dude?
Well, you would have the
models?
husky section back in, what was it, JCPenney or Sears or whatever.
Sears had husky.
But I don't ever recall looking through a Sears catalog and hitting the husky kid section. There's a fat kid.
No, we still have the best. We put the best looking dude models we can out there, and with no plus size representation. But these are all dudes who are saying they're chicks, but they still don't get the plus size because that's how stringent we are about this. So are those all trans men? And I guess, and I don't know, are you with me that we need the pre-op and the post-op designation?
Yes.
We used to have that when I was young, right? It'd go, that's a pre-op transsexual and that's a post-op. Because that's a big deal.
That's
at
a
the
very
bar,
big deal.
You know?
It's a very big deal. I used to work at a hotel. It was called the Kimpton Hotel. It was the corner of Pico and Beverwill. It was this little tiny little street right there. It's like I don't know what it is. It might be a Lowe's now. But anyway, the 7th floor there was a plastic surgery recovery floor. So we would see everyone coming in for everything. And I would have conversations with them about these things, what they're doing and stuff. And look, you got to have it. You got to have – look, I get this all the time too. Trans women are real women. Okay, fine. You can say what you want to say. But if a trans woman was a real woman, you wouldn't need the disclaimer trans. The same way a step parent. I am a step parent. I'm not that kid's real parent. Don't care how much I identify as his real parent. Don't care how much I've done for that kid all his life. Don't care that he calls me whatever. I'm a step parent.
To a drifter.
To a drifter, for Christ's sake. So it's okay. Identify however you want, but you gotta fucking be clear about it. It's
gotta be weird.
Because also, the game is getting better.
Yeah.
The first time I thought, I'll tell you, can we bring up the Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In album cover? When I walked into a record store the first time and I saw that from a distance, I was like, who are these pretty ladies?
You thought Poison was
from
Vixen.
A distance? Yeah, Vixen. That's right. Thank you for remembering Vixen, dude. I'm like, does Lena Ford have a new outfit? You walk in from across the distance. I'm like, look at these 4 girls on here. And then you get closer and you're like, oh my God, these are fucking guys. These are actually guys.
Jesus Christ. We went from the fucking Ohio players to this bullshit.
And that's
Ohio players
made
was
up
all
and stuff.
ass and tits back then. The brothers knew how to do it in the 70s. I didn't even know what any of the Ohio players looked like because their album covers were just tits and ass the whole time. And now we got this shit.
So, yeah, you got to have disclaimers. You got to have it. You got to have it.
I agree.
You can't just – the game is getting way better. Also, the game is getting way better.
The voices, you mean
All
the
of it.
mannerisms.
Not just that, the surgeries, the makeup these days, the hair. I mean, You could take a woman and make her a bald lady and have her look like something completely different. You know what I mean? So you got to change. You got to tell us.
I'm looking at the Ohio players. The Ohio players are funny because we show their normal record covers. It's just hot chicks, right? So the Ohio players were like, first off, some world-class afros going on those brothers. But give me the typical Ohio player record cover. But the Ohio players are funny because it was always hot chicks on the covers. But I guess at some point they went.
There's one in a bikini over here.
Yeah, they got the one with the fire hose and the titties and everything. That's where we used to go. You know, we didn't have porn, but we had the Ohio players. But the Ohio players are funny because at some point they did do a cover with all of the Ohio players on it, but they're still like, we need a nude chick. And they're
That's
like,
her right there.
We're doing an album with us on it. Yeah, I know. And a nude chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but she's not in the band. No, I know. We need a nude chick sitting on top of piano.
Sydney's coming here to squeeze her titties together.
In between the Ohio players. And they're like, no, the label just wants the Ohio players.
Yeah, that's fine. They'll be in.
And titties. It's
they're
like
gonna
they
be there.
can't do it. And then, I mean, like their manager's like, you know the band Paul Revere and the Raiders? Yeah. You know who's on the cover of their album? Who? Paul Revere and the Raiders, and not a naked chick. Just them. And they're like, but we're the fucking Ohio players.
They are.
And we need titties.
Players.
And that's what we're putting on our record cover. Mr. Mean. So when did...
Well, you know, going back
By
to
the
the
way,
disclaimer
I
here.
miss the old black folk.
What if you want trans women? You know what I mean?
If you want one.
If I'm a guy that wants a trans lady, tell me you're a trans. What if you know what I mean? Tell me you're a trans lady. I want the disclaimer.
Are there
Either way,
guys,
it
who
should
are
work.
the guys who want the trans lady?
I think a lot of guys.
You do?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys. want the
Lot?
trans
Lot
ladies.
meaning...
Well, I mean, you
Not
talk lady boys and
percentage-wise.
stuff. We talking about global here, or are we talking about United States?
Are we? What do we think of those guys? Like, or do we have thoughts about those guys? Like, they go, "Look, I'm a straight dude. I just like a trans lady."
Yeah, you're not straight.
Okay, so that's
You're
those are our
definitely
thoughts.
not
You're not Ohio player straight.
You are not an Ohio player.
Those
You are
some
not
of the
Mr.
straightest
Mean
guys in the
over
world. So you're not straight if that's what you want. I don't trust that. But I'm also I'm also trying to figure out, where do you go? Like, what about the guys that like stuff in their ass?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we with them?
Well, what kind of stuff? Like men? Men?
I don't know. Like getting pegged. You know what I mean? Like
That's definitely gay. It's definitely gay.
even if it's a beautiful woman who's donning a strap on.
Well, she's back there to pound town you. She's back there into it. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Finger, whatever. That's not. You know,
judgment
we're
there.
exploring. We're exploring. We're you know, even a little toy. But if you're like, I'm gonna get pegged. If you want to be on all fours, if you want to be in the submissive position and have a woman fucking take it from you, like, good for you. But also, it's definitely gay vibes. Find me a gay guy that would argue that.
What if I said, listen, I got this really hot chick. She was on the cover of the Ohio Players album in 1977. I don't know if you remember that. She's in her early 70s. No, she was young at the time. Maybe even underage. She's 74. But the point is, she's held up nicely. She's hot. And I'm not into the peg scene,
me
but
either.
this is a dream for her. So I'm not into it. So don't blame me. She's, pardon the pun, riding out a fantasy here. So now, a little less judgment for me?
Yeah, sure. But it's not, listen, first of all, I'm not judging.
No.
I would say I'm clarifying.
Clarifying.
That it leans gay. It's it's not I'm not judging you. Go fucking take it to Pound Town. Like, if that's what gets you there, get you there. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I don't care about what anybody does with themselves, but we got to just stop saying everything is this. No, it's not. It's okay to be different. When the fuck when did different become the same? We're supposed to celebrate differences.
Yeah.
That's what makes us who the fuck we are. We're not all the same. And also
You should do motivational speaking. You should get in front of like special needs kids and be like, hey, we're all fucking different, and that's fucking good. Okay, bro? Because that's who the fuck we are.
celebrate your differences, man.
Yeah.
For real.
You want to get a good pagan from an Ohio player? That's your fucking
That's
business.
your business, bro. That is your business.
How many Ohio players are still alive? And this is smart. There's one really shrewd move the black performers of the 70s do, which is they got these pictures of these guys, huge afros, pork chop sideburns, wearing tuxedos with ruffles. When they show up at a casino in modern times, who's to say if that's an actual Ohio player or not? Because now the guy's got short cropped hair and he shops at Old Navy, and we don't fucking know. Nobody's yelling, that's not. You get to go on in perpetuity. Like the Coasters had hits in the 50s.
Yeah.
They're playing somewhere this weekend, and the guy playing the bass is 31. They can just go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they just need another
Yeah,
brother
that's it, yeah.
and maybe one original guy, but I don't even know if they need the original guy anymore. Are the Ohio players, there's 2 surviving, 3.
According to their website, they have 3 of the original members. James Diamond Williams on drums.
That's right.
Billy Beck on the keyboard. And Clarence Willis on lead guitar.
And I think the 4th and original member died in a fire. Fire. This is something they heard coming from his hotel room. So, and are they playing? Do they got
They're
dates?
still performing.
They got
state
dates.
There are
fairs?
10
stuff,
dudes
or-
in the band right now.
There's 10 dudes in the Ohio players. Yeah. I swear to God, there's bands, like I said, the Coasters, like from the early 50s, still booked this weekend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Too bad we can't do that with
Our
comedy,
rockers are not holding together well. I think I just saw a clip of the guy from the Scorpions. Have you seen this one?
No.
I mean, he looked like he was medicated and out of it, just mumbling. I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
Man, we wrap it up, or just get a new singer. It's okay if the library's still good.
Yeah.
Go get a new singer. Journey did it.
I think David Lee Roth is getting
It just
going down
happened.
that
It
road a
definitely
little
just happened. Yeah.
bit
He was
as
good
well.
for a minute. Now he's like, yeah. He's going
Yeah.
downhill.
Well, I mean, it's bound to happen.
How can it not? You're living their 60s and 70s rock and roll, drugs, you name it. Of course, it's going to have a.
David Lee Roth now looks like a pair of leather pants.
Yeah, he does. He
But
really does.
it's also, you realize that here's the deal too. If you're gonna pick songs like Jump and these kinds of, Ain't Talking About Love and stuff like that, that ain't like Old Man River. Like Old Man River you can do into your 90s. You just go, that old man river. You can do you can do a sort of Pat Boone version of a career and a Bing Crosby, like blah, 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 blah. And you can ride that shit into your 90s.
No doubt.
If you're doing the high octave front ball kicks, high pitch, whatever, then you come out and you try it. You can't pull it off at 70. You could pull it off at 26. It's too tall an order. So you have to start, like when you're in a rock band and you get into your mid-30s, you have to start thinking about, like, we need some hits that I could sing when I'm 75 that aren't going to be, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going
like that
Ronnie
comedian
James
that used to-
Dio at 75,
It's the comedian that used to have the flip as their closer. It's like,
Right.
let's see if you're doing that in your 40s, brother.
Right.
You better get a new closer.
Right.
Yeah, you can't be singing Jamie's Crying
Right.
in your 80s.
Right. You're going to have to
No.
figure something out. But there are all these, if you're Neil Sedaka, you can have my baby. You can fucking pull that shit
Keep it
off
right
2 days
again.
after you're dead, right? Do not resuscitate. Ryan, let me give you a plug over here. The special. It is called Ryan Sickler, Live and Alive. And, of course, the podcast and the live dates, ryansickler.com is where you go. Take a quick break. Be right back right after this. Chime. Yo, you know what drives me nuts? Trying to stay on top of my money when the system keeps tripping you up. That's right. You miss a payment by a day, boom, hit with some ridiculous fee. I remember those days. Oh, man, do I remember those days? Overdraft. Oh, yeah. I paid for everything. I'd go to the ATM. I had $20 left once. I went to the ATM, but I couldn't get the $20 out because the ATM charged $1. And I didn't have $21. Those were the days. Anyway, you get dinged for everything. Late fees, overdraft. It's like the bank is rooting against me back in the day. Well, that's where Chime has changed the game. It's banking done right. When you set up direct deposit through Chime, you can get paid up to 2 days early because honestly, who couldn't use their money a little bit sooner? And with qualifying direct deposit, you're eligible for fee-free overdraft up to $200 on debit credit card purchases and cash withdrawals. No monthly fees, no maintenance fees, and over 47,000 fee-free ATMs. That's more than the top 3 national banks combined. They've already spotted their members over $30 billion. My younger self would have loved this. No crazy fees, getting paid earlier, and real-time alerts that actually help you stay on track. Chime makes every dollar count. Right, Dawson?
Work on your financial goals through Chime today. Open an account in 2 minutes at chime.com/Adam. That's chime.com/Adam. Chime feels like progress.
This November, action is free on Pluto TV. Go on the run with Jack Reacher.
Every suspect was a train killer.
Then buckle up for Drive, World War Z,
Every human being we save is one less fight.
and Charlie's Angels.
Damn, I hate to fly.
Launch into sci-fi adventure with The Fifth Element and laugh through the mayhem in Tropic Thunder.
What is going on here?
All the thrills, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey Adam, this is Donnie Lee Berger. When are you ever going to get off your ass and check out the flat earth? All right? It's the mother of all conspiracies. It's the big lie, with the globe. All right? It's time to wake up. People are already seeing it. It's time for you Hollywood folks to start bringing it to full attention because once this is out there, everything changes.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, buddy. Gary Cannon is in studio. Gary's a very funny stand-up comedian. Got dates all over the place. Website, GaryCannon.com is where you can go. I've seen Gary perform many times. Also been overseas with the troops.
Yes.
And does the world's greatest gig, which is Audience Warmup.
I just worked. This new season of The Masked Singer is up and filming right now. So we're filming it these last couple of weeks. We're almost done.
It's good.
It's a great gig. It's a little chaotic over there.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to film those shows, and they require a ton of energy from that audience. But at the end of the day, it's a great gig, and I get to be home at 10 o'clock at night and sleep in my own bed. It's the best.
It's it's an interesting gig for a comedian because it's literally you're up there and you go, look, let me tell you a story. And then you get into it and then you go, and then my dad from his deathbed looked up to me and he said, Gary, we got to go. And then you go, okay, here we go now. A lot of energy. And you just walk off the stage. Like, it's such the opposite of being a comedian in a weird way because you can be in the middle of a joke, middle of a story. You can be talking about losing your border collie to AIDS. And at the very end, before you get to the part where you drove him to the vet to say goodbye for the last time, someone just winds their finger and goes, here we go.
The bell goes off.
And you just walk. You have a lot of energy and you walk off.
I also have to be careful because as a comic, I have to watch myself because I've worked on shows, daytime shows, where they give stuff away to the audience. And then as a comic, I instinctively start to make fun of the giveaway. So we gave away one time a $100 gift card to Breeze Airlines. And I didn't know what that was. It was a new airline. And I started making fun of the gift card after we gave it away. And I said, you guys better book something quickly before they go out of business. I said the CEO of Breeze wanted to be here, but they couldn't find a flight. So all of a sudden I get a text message from the show, meet us in the control booth after the show. And apparently the people from Breeze were there. And they don't like it when you're making fun of a product that they're donating to help pay the bills for the show. They frown upon that. So as much as you want to as a comic to make fun of that stuff, you have to pull back and say, okay, this is what's paying their bills and paying my bills.
Well, as I've said many times, it was my dream to be an audience warm-up guy. And as a matter of fact, you know, I think when you enter show business or when you enter anything, but you have some notion about working in a field, you know, like I wanted to be a boxing coach, and I was for a while, but I didn't have dreams of owning a chain of boxing gyms. My sort of as high as I got as I would teach class and have a couple of private students. And I did. But that's kind of where the bar was for me. And when I started thinking about comedy and show business as a way to make a living, I looked at it as a way to make a living. I did not look at it, I wasn't going to be Vin DeBona, and I wasn't going to be George Carlin. I wasn't going to be a big producer. I wasn't going to, have a high-rise office with a corner view. I was just like, I want to just make a living doing comedy or some form of entertainment or something. It was all good for me. Good enough. And about as high as my bar got set was audience warm-up guy. I knew Jim O'Doherty. I knew guy worked at Acme with. Guy did all the warm-ups for, American Gladiator and Fallops, Bloops, and Blunders or whatever. I knew how much money he was making.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, my God. Also, there's a kind of a math you do, a little bit of a poor person's math, but sorry. But it's like, I remember when Molly Ringwald, who I was friends with as a kid, was making all her movies and doing all this kind of stuff. I was friends with her family. And at some point, the banks were paying like 10% on a T-bill or whatever it was. This is, mid-'80s, late 80s, whatever it is. And I was like, Molly Ringwald has $1 million in the bank, and she's getting 10%. So she makes $100,000 a year off of interest. She never has to work again. She's done. She's done. I was making $9,000 a year. My dad made $21,000. I was like, you're making $100,000 a year. You're done. Right. You never have to work. It's a kind of a poor person's math. When I heard about guys making $1,500 a week or $1,800 a week or whatever doing audience warm-up, I'm like, done. You would never have to work. That would be it.
Sure.
That'd be your job.
Well, it's interesting because every show that I do is different. I think for me, my favorite show that I ever got to do warm-up for was Conan because I was such a fan of Conan for years. Mm-hmm. I literally would show up at 4 o'clock. I'd start the warm-up at 4:15. Show would start at 4:30. I could be walking to my car at 4:33.
Right.
The problem with that show was it's a comedy show. So if they aren't laughing and they're not ready to laugh when Conan gets out there, it's on me. Daytime is a lot different because they don't have to be laughing. It's more of a feel-good show. So as long as they're applauding, smiling, having a good time, the pressure's off of me.
Well, Jim, the guy who did Married with Children, that was the one.
See, I would think that show, because it was so crazy high energy, that it was almost like a Masked Singer vibe where they would want that show at 110 miles per hour the entire show.
Well, I will tell you, there is almost religious-like following that audience warm-up guys get by the producers. Where we need this guy, and I'm like, who cares? Get anybody or get nobody. They're like, oh no, we need this guy. Some of it's like almost superstitious. Like I did a pilot with this guy and it went. Then I did another pilot and it got picked up. We're in season 5, so we got to get this guy. But either way, I always looked at it as the greatest gig ever because it was like show business, but not totally show business, but like a job, which show business isn't, but you get paid. It's consistent.
Always.
My dream was audience warm-up.
And think about this too, Adam, talking about these producers that always use the same guy. Chuck Lorre has used Mark Sweet for 30 years on every show. And Chuck always has a show in production. I think he's the only guy, the only producer right now that has maybe 3 sitcoms that are actually running on air. So, I mean, Mark is consistently working. And I think there is that kind of preconceived notion that if Mark's not with us, the show's going to go in the toilet.
There's like I said, some of it's practical and some of it's a little superstitious, but good luck, Jon.
And here's the other thing, too, which I always found interesting. You would try to get into a sitcom that maybe was using the same guy over and over again. So a producer would call you up, and they would try and get you in. Maybe you knew the producer. So the problem would become, let's say they hire me, and it goes poorly. Mm-hmm. Well, then the show is going to go back to that producer that hired me and say, why'd you hire this guy?
Yes.
If it doesn't go well for a guy like Mark Sweet, well, he's tested. They know him. It's not going to be blamed on him.
Yeah.
He's a commodity to that show. So it's harder for them to justify booking
what it's
me.
like? It's a gig like being a caddy to a professional golfer who's on the tour for 20 years. It's like you're not a professional golfer. He gets the credit, but you get paid real well. And it's still a better job than 99.9% of people. And you're on a golf course with professionals all day, even though you're not in the tournament, but you're getting paid, but you don't have the pressure of the guy who's playing. It's just I'm just going to go for, it's the showbiz version of being a caddy. And as a caddy, you have to be good at golf. Like you have to know the game. There's a skill to it.
I used to love when Conan would take the show on the road and we would go to New York or we would go to San Diego. And I just knew every crew member was there at 7 a.m, setting up, getting everything ready. And I would breeze in at 4 o'clock, having slept in. I drank the night before, hungover, and I could just show up. And just because I knew the format, knew how to do it so quickly and efficiently. And I would get there, and you could see the resentment on the other people's faces. Like, this guy's just showing up. He's asking us to bring his box of T-shirts down. He's looking for something to eat. Like, they were just so annoyed at me that I was showing up last minute. But, again, it is a different skill set that a lot of comics can't do it because there's a lot of moving parts that people think they can do it and they can't.
Well, Gary's very fast on his feet. I was open for me quite a few times doing stand-up, and I can hear him. I can feel the skill of like a good magician isn't a warlock. They have a skill, and it looks as if they're a warlock, but they're so good with their hands that you don't realize what really they're doing. But that's only from lots of repetition and lots of skill. All right, this is interesting. I'm interested in this. So I was at the Home Depot on last week on Friday. And I was heading to the Home Depot, as I'm apt to do. We'll go there a lot. I've been there a lot. I don't know. There's not many Americans that have been to Home Depot more than me who don't work at a Home Depot. And I bet I have many ex-employees beat as well because they may have only worked at a Home Depot for 2.5 years, whereas I've been going nonstop for 35 years to Home Depots. When I was a carpenter, I was going to the Home Depot. And then later on, I built my own houses and did my own projects. But I was always at the Home Depot. And so I was going over there, And Andrew, who does our vlogs and other things around here, Andrew said, well, if you're going to the Home Depot, why don't I just grab my gimbal lipstick camera? I don't know, lollipop camera. I don't know what it is, but there's these new great cameras. You just hold them up like a stick. Osmo. The Osmo, it's 8 inches tall. It's the size of a broom handle that's 8 inches, and you just hold it, and you can film everything. And the good news is you don't really draw any attention because it's not a big rig on your shoulder with battery packs and cables and stuff. He just follows me around, and I just make my way through the Home Depot. And we get a fun little, kind of man on the streety kind of vlog. And I know the subject. So he just grabs his Osmo and he follows me around. So we walked through the Home Depot. I got my stuff. We were doing our thing. And then we got to the checkout counter. Now, they have the self-checkout. But for me, the self-checkout takes longer than the non-self-checkout because I don't know what I'm doing. And it's also not a good deal for Home Depot because it's always 3 employees trying to help me do the self-checkout. Right. Every time, they go to the airport now and they have the kiosk that's like self-checkout. It's always somebody has to come around from the back, stand next to me, rub stuff in to go, I don't know why the barcode's not working. And before you know it, it's much more work than if she just stood behind the counter and I just paid her. But anyway, I'm checking out, and Andrew and I are standing there. We're not filming per se, but I noticed something. I noticed there's a woman in front of us. Now, she's not dressed in any particular way. She's a middle-aged woman, white woman. She's got shorts, like jeans cut off. She's got a tape measure on her belt, which suggests something. Tape on the belt. It's a thing. So, and I'm just looking at what she bought. And what she bought is dowels and plywood. But the plywood was cut. And I was just looking at it, and I said, this isn't going to work, to Andrew. And Andrew said, what do you mean it's not going to work? And I said, whatever's going on in front of us here with this cart and this woman, whatever she's doing, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then Andrew, who doesn't know anything about building, or really anything, actually. Well, movies, stuff, video games, I guess. But whatever. He knows stuff about stuff, but not stuff that other people need to know. But he kept saying to me, like, what are you saying? And I go, I am telling you what's going on this cart in front of me with this piece of plywood. She had a piece of 3/4 ply. It was like shop grade, I don't know, birch or something. It was plywood, 3/4 ply. She had it cut in the back, and then she had a couple of shelves cut out of it, like 1 by, like 1 foot by like 4 foot or something. And I just looked at it and I kept saying, this is not going to work. Whatever she's doing, it's not going to work. Now, I don't know why I said that because I've never said that. I've been to Home Depot 7,000 times. I've never said, I've had a million people in front of me, behind me. They're buying PVC. They're buying fittings. Sometimes people are just buying water and toilet paper. Like, people go there for provisions, I've never made the comment, it's not going to work. But I kept saying it's not going to work.
Something bothered you about this cart.
Something. I was putting a composite of sort of her, although it was not like she was wearing high heels and clamp-on earrings or anything. She was just kind of middle-aged woman and looked like a DIY kind of person, but I just said, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And Andrew just kept looking at me going, all right. And I go, film the cart. Film the cart. And Andrew's like, okay. But he didn't want to get caught filming.
No, my apprehension wasn't filming the cart. My apprehension was being with you at a Home Depot filming a woman we don't know. That was what I was trying to avoid.
He's very sensitive. Andrew is. Oh, he's respectful. He loves his mommy. I mean, his mom. He's respectful. The point is I kept shoving him, going, film the cart, film. And he was like filming me. And I was like, turn around, film the cart. And he was like, Yeah, he was worried that it was the optics of it were going to seem weird.
Also, by the way, I was filming the cart. I was filming you with the cart in the background because the Osmo shoots on 4K, so I can blow up that image. So that way I'm not just going up to this stranger and filming her cart, kind of blowing the operation.
Is this woman in front of you aware that there's this kind of mumbling behind her? Or
No
clue.
To the best of my knowledge, she doesn't know.
No, and she wasn't aware because I wasn't going up to her cart and just filming it with an Osmo.
No, I was. You know, when you want to film somebody or something, you have to go out and pretend like you're looking at something else, you know, and then at some point you come around as if you're surveying the landscape, but there's George Clooney with his dog, you know what I mean? But you're just filming the horizon. It was that. Andrew's got a lot of couth, you know, so that was good. So I knew he was able to sort of I wanted him to get it before she pushed it off. And I don't know why it was important. Andrew, we've done this a few times. I've never yelled at you to film anyone's cart, right? And and what was I saying? Was I just saying it's whatever she's doing, it's not going to work?
You were saying it's not going to work. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know it's not going to fit into whatever closet she's trying to fix, and whatever she's making, it's going to fall apart.
So I kept saying she doesn't know what she's doing. It's not going to work. That's all. I don't know why. So then we finished up our business at the counter. And she goes and pushes off into the parking lot. And then I yell, Andrew, follow her, because something's going to be, we're going to find something. And then I said to Andrew, as we're walking out in the parking lot, I go, we got to find her, because she's going to be trying to get this shit into a 93 Saab, and it's not going to fit, right? And Andrew, again, was like, I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it. So we start heading out in the parking lot, and then sure enough, we get to her car, and she's got a VW Jetta, which is not going to accommodate 3/4 of a sheet of plywood. It's not going to fit. And so I'm going, and turns out I'm parked right across from her. So I'm going, Andrew, shoot her, shoot. She's trying to get the plywood. And Andrew's like, he didn't want to be made. You know what I mean? So I get it. So at some point, we got in the car. And I said, we're going to circle past her. She's not going to get the thing. I was like, film out the window, Andrew. Okay, we got it. Sorry. This is me backing out. Oh, you think we're going out this exit? We are not. We're going on a victory lap. We are going on a victory lap. Get your window down. So Andrew's filming me, but I'm going her way. Of the plywood. And, come on, Andrew. We'll tile her face out or something. Come on. Go and get a shot of the plywood.
That's her Mini Cooper.
Okay. Or you'll see. Okay. She's got a piece of ply that's nowhere near going to fit to the back of her car. And she's not there because she's inside her car on the telephone. She's having to call somebody with a truck or some service to come get her out of the parking lot of the Home Depot. And then I just declared victory. I just said, Andrew, I told you this wasn't going to work. I told you it wasn't going to work from inside the store. I had no idea what she was driving. Also, I wouldn't assume that someone would pick up a big piece of plywood driving a Jetta, but I knew something was wrong. I knew I'm like a cop, you know what I mean, who shows up at a bar and I'm sniffing things out. And I just got a feeling. I had this feeling, and I kept saying it to Andrew, something's wrong, and it's not going to work. Like you know what I was like? In the movie Predator, remember the Indian guy? He was just like, he didn't know the Predator. He didn't know the alien. He didn't know. He knew something was wrong. He just kept saying something was wrong. He was spooked. I was like that Indian guy. I took my shirt off. I took a hunting knife and I just dragged it across my chest, and I stood there on a log waiting for her to come out of the Jetta. She never came out.
You think she's still there?
She's still there.
Andrew followed her home.
She had to call somebody to pick up her piece of ply. So,
what can you do? I mean, because you've been there enough times, what can you do in a situation like that? I mean, there are people in the parking lot with pickup trucks that will obviously transport it, right?
You got three choices. You can call somebody you know with a pickup truck to come help you out, but that could be a minute because who knows where they are, and they're not going to drop everything. You could drag your sheet of ply back in, go to the panel saw, which is in the back where they cut her shelves in the first place, and tell the guy, just rip this shit in half. Now, she probably has a plan for the plywood at home, which doesn't involve two pieces. So she probably doesn't want to do that. But you can walk it back in, go find the guy, and tell him just to rip it, and he'll probably just rip it in half or whatever so it'll fit. There's that. Yeah, that was me, Billy the Indian, on a log, just standing there with a Bowie knife dragged across my chest at the Home Depot. You could drag it in, you could have it cut.
Okay.
You could go back in and buy yourself some tie downs or something. Not really bungee cords, but like tie downs, and like throw it on the roof of the Jetta and strap the thing around and then do
like
the
a Christmas tree.
Yeah, like a Christmas tree where you give that classy move, which is then you drive with your left hand out of the... I would like to... You know what I'd like? Some sort of graph. How many miles have you driven with your hand out the window, hanging on to a mattress or box spring or piece of plywood or a Christmas tree versus how successful you are? I would argue the more miles you've covered with one hand out, hanging on to a sofa, the bigger the loser you are. And if there was a cigarette in that hand, you are the winner. You have won. Because I would bet, like if you took the winners in life, like let's just think, I'll bet you Elon Musk hasn't traveled 1 foot with his hand out the window of a car. I had to own a car for like 3 years. Like I literally have probably pushed cars further than a lot of people have driven cars in the first 3 years of driving. Like I bump started. I had cars where I had to bump start them constantly. I pushed tons of cars and motorcycles in my life.
But by the way, if you're holding the mattress, right? If you can, what are you going to do if it starts slipping? There's nothing. It's just a matter of you feeling it. That it's up there.
It's the equivalent to you got the kid sitting next to you in the passenger seat, you got a bench seat on a truck, and you slam the brakes on, you just put your arm out. Like it doesn't stop. He's going through the windshield. Right. Your arm is not going to stop or impede a real thing. And yeah, if that plywood or that box spring is coming off the roof of the jet, your hand is not going to do it. But there's something emotional to it.
You feel like you're doing something.
It's also kind of it's an extra 20% that maybe you need just to get it. But she's going to have to go with the tie down, maybe a ratcheting strap, go back in and cut it or call somebody. Now, I dropped Andrew off here, and then I circled back, and I said, I got to go back.
No.
Oh, yes, I did.
How far from here is the Home Depot?
5 minutes,
okay.
maybe.
Oh, close.
So I'm going close.
Okay.
So I said I'm going back. Now, Andrew, you guys are mildly amused by this, but Andrew was blown away because Andrew stood there in line while I kept saying something's wrong. Something's wrong. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You guys hear it secondhand and you go, yeah, that's a weird. But if you were there, Andrew's walking around with a 5,000-yard stare the whole rest of the day.
It was like I was Ethan Hawke and you were Denzel Washington, and this was training day.
Yeah.
Just opening my eyes to a whole new world.
Yes. And that's when you learn the shaman type magic that is the Ace Man, right? Like Andrew just couldn't get it out. He could not get it out of his head.
But two things, just a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she were to get it tied down to the roof, would somebody at Home Depot help her do that? Or is there a charge or a tip, something like that? And secondly, could she have hired somebody in the parking lot to drive it to where she needed to go for $50 or whatever the cost would have been?
Well, Andrew was explaining, and again, the kids with the apps, there's a thing called Lug.
Oh.
And you call Lug, and Lug, I guess, meets you in the parking lot of the IKEA and takes that furniture set that you thought you could get into your Volvo, but you couldn't. You know, so like Lug is just dudes with trucks. I mean, if you got a truck and, you know, you speak some English, you got an app and a phone, you make a living just driving around, because there's tons of people need stuff moved around, and they pay, you know, the coffee table brought from this place to that place or whatever. So Andrew says you can call a place called Lug, and they'll show up with their, will they show up like in 20 minutes? Is it it's not Uber speed. Is it like there's a guy 7 minutes away?
It's not Uber's. It's like 30 minutes. I know, because I one time bought a piece of plywood. No, I'm just kidding. It was from a couch that I was moving. But it took about 30 to 40 minutes, but it was great.
What do they charge? How much more than, like, let's say an Uber is it?
Oh, it was, I think, like $60 bucks, $70, but it was worth it.
To move it, how far?
Angelino Heights to Toluca Lake.
No one knows what that is.
So 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
But is their job ending right when they drop it off at your house, or will they help you bring it in?
Oh, it ends right when they drop off.
Oh, there's no other help, so you got to figure that part out.
But they'll help get it into the back of their truck, right?
Yeah, they'll help you put it into their truck and take it out, and then moving it into your apartment. That's on you.
All right. The other thing I was noticing.
Wait, you go back to Home Depot?
Yeah, not there.
She's gone.
She's gone.
So how long of that time from when you left to when you went back? How long would that have been?
It was only about 10 minutes.
Oh.
So I don't know. She must have had somebody she knew. Maybe, I don't know. I'm getting into too much speculation now.
Are you bummed that she's not still there?
Yeah, I am. I'm upset.
I knew it.
She, here's what I'm going to think. Here's what I think she did. Now, I think she may have taken the ply and just walked it back into the Home Depot and like leaned it in the entry and just went told somebody, I'm just going to go out and grab my truck or whatever, and just got somebody to come back and get it, because she was gone. The ply was gone. I walked to the spot. The spot was empty. I got down on a knee and I took my finger and I dragged it on the asphalt. I did what Vin Diesel did in Fast and Furious 5, where he's like, when he was recreating Letty's accident out on the highway. There's that scene. It was a great scene. He could see it all. He went to the highway where Letty, he saw skid marks, and he got down on one knee and he was like, what happened? And then he started envisioning the whole thing with her getting swerving and going off the side of the road and the bad guy shooting her in the head and everything. And then he was like, I got to go kill that guy. But I was like, I don't think you're being fair to the guy, because I don't know where you got all that information by just going down on one knee and looking down. He dragged his finger and I tasted it. And I was like, synthetic. She's running synthetic. Tastes like, is that Valvoline? No, it's Kestrel. And I did, is that a mixed viscosity or is it a 30 weight? It's a 30 weight. Any additive in there? So I was trying to figure out where she was. You know what I mean? Because Vin in Fast and Furious 4 found out where the guy was because he did that thing where he licked his finger again, and there was nitromethane in the fuel, and there's only one guy who sells nitromethane in these parts, and he went to pay him a visit.
The vision I have is you pulling in the parking lot, smiling ear to ear, boy on Christmas Day, and then you get closer, you see she's gone, and that smile goes away.
Yeah.
Like you just opened up a crappy gift because you wanted her to be there.
I wanted her to be there.
She was long at home. I don't think she brought it in. I just think that would have taken too long.
What'd she do with the plywood, smart guy?
I don't know. Maybe she hired. That was my thought. She hired somebody for the parking lot.
Literally was like 8 minutes. Like she would have really had listen, nobody's faster flagging Mexicans than this guy. But even that would be a personal best for me. You know what I mean? Because the guys in the corral that are waiting to work, that ICE is going after, they don't have a pickup truck there. They're going to jump into your pickup truck. So you'd have to find someone who is exiting, and you'd have to do the move we did when we were kids on a Saturday night. Remember when you were 16 and you'd go to the liquor store and wait for the guy to walk in? Can you buy some beer? Here's some beer. Can you get some beer?
Right.
Like you're walking and talking. It's never a good sign when you're talking to someone and they never stop. You're making your pitch from the parking lot to the front of the liquor store, and they're just walking the whole time. And you're just walking with them going, here's $10. You get Mickey's Big Mouth. And then they go, and they just walk in.
When we were kids, we always knew of a place that was like an hour and a half away that would sell to kids. Mm-hmm. They would accept your fake ID, but you'd also have to buy other things so the store would make a profit.
Yeah.
So they would make you buy just nonsense. But literally the store would be 90 minutes away from the house.
Yeah, and there must have been some sort of exchange program because there were kids who lived next to that liquor store, but yet they had to drive 90 minutes your direction.
They knew.
There was no such thing as not driving. Yeah, we had the Asian-run liquor store where they're just like,
they don't care.
We don't care. We don't know. And by the way, we can't gauge your age, the white man, round eyes age. We don't care. Just
I
whatever we are.
remember when I was in high school, there was a guy, and this was just shows you how long ago it was. Now it's probably so much easier, but he would make fake IDs. And everybody in our high school had the exact same name on their ID. It was a guy named David Mozan. Everybody had his ID, and he was furious. I don't know how they decided to use his name, but it was $7.
He went to your high school?
Yeah, he went to our
I thought he was dead or something.
No, everybody had that ID, and it was 8 of us that had David Mozan, and we all knew his address by heart and his birthday. It was so funny.
David McLovin Mozan.
David Mozan.
All right, Gary, we're going to bring ELISHA KRAUSS in here and do the news. We'll bid adieu to you.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And we'll do the news and ELISHA KRAUSS right after this. Home title lock. If you're a homeowner in America, you need to hear this. There's a new kind of real estate fraud going around. It's called title theft. The FBI has been warning about it. Yeah, you've heard about it. Your home, your equity, that's the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature, use a fake notary, file one document with the county, and on paper, they now own your home. They can take out loans against your equity, even sell your property, and you don't find out until notices start showing up in the mail. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock. They can help protect your equity and tell you today if you're already a victim. Don't wait until it's too late. It's Home Title Lock, right, Dawson?
Use our promo code Adam at HometitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why we trust Home Title Lock. That's Home Title Lock, promo code Adam.
This November, action is free on Pluto TV. Go on the run with Jack Reacher.
Every suspect was a train killer.
Then buckle up for Drive, World War Z.
Every human being we save is one less to fight.
And Charlie's Angels.
Damn, I hate to fly.
Launch into sci-fi adventure with The Fifth Element and laugh through the mayhem in Tropic Thunder.
What is going on here?
All the thrills, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, man. Just calling to let you know they're remaking your favorite film, Cliffhanger. And I'm pretty sure they replaced Sylvester Stallone's character with a female lead. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, I get what everyone does now, but they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's a remake. You don't have to do a fresh sheet of paper on a remake. And look, you remake Jaws, but don't remake it with a polar bear. Do it with a shark. That's all I'm saying.
Do it with like a whale shark instead of a great white.
I don't know. They're too docile, the whale sharks. I'm just saying it doesn't, Karate Kid doesn't need a black guy, or it doesn't need a woman, or it doesn't just remake. Or don't remake and just make something else.
You know the actress that popped into my head when I heard that they were redoing it that would actually kind of serve that role well.
Cliffhanger?
Even though you don't like her. Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron on Cliffhanger.
Because she does a lot of like action roles. She's done those like Netflix action movies. I mean, what other female lead is like super hardcore action? Does a lot of her own stunts. I can't think of any.
It'll be fine, but just make a new movie. That's all I'm saying.
I still haven't seen the original.
What?
Should that be
Get the
like
hell?
KRAUSS House viewing this
Girl,
weekend?
You've gotten yourself, you've lowered yourself down to a 0 with that comment.
Oh, no.
That's one of the greatest films of all time.
You knew that about me, though. We had this whole conversation with Stephen Baldwin.
I knew about it, but I block it out. I always block it.
All the bad parts of me you just block out.
Well, that would take forever, but the main bad parts I block out. Yes. All right, what's going on in the news, Alicia KRAUSS?
So it's kind of interesting. I think maybe some Hollywood lefties are coming around to the fact that they were jerks to, I don't know, half Americans for the last 10 plus years that Donald Trump has been on the political scene. Daily Show host Jon Stewart mourns the fact that we've lost the ability to love people in different parties. And then we have clips of that in a second. But first, we're going to start with Jennifer Lawrence saying, quote, I don't really know if I should speak out on Trump in politics anymore because she thinks that it's adding fuel to the fire that's ripping America apart.
Well, if they knew anything, they should say something, but they don't really know anything.
They think they know the things, though.
I guess. Is this Jennifer Lawrence now?
Yeah, this is Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
She's on a film, doing the press tour for her new movie with, what's his face from Twilight. And it's called Die, My Love.
Yeah, what's his name? All right, we'll listen.
Not a bad idea.
What do you mean?
A revolution.
You have been politically outspoken in the past. In the first Trump administration, you had a lot to say. I'm curious how you feel about talking out now.
I don't really know if I should. I think like the first Trump administration was so wild, and just how can we let this stand? Like I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But as we've learned, election after election, celebrities do not make a difference whatsoever on who people vote for. And so then what am I doing? I'm just sharing my opinion on something that's going to just add fuel to a fire that's ripping the country apart. I mean, we are so divided. I think I'm in a complicated recalibration because I'm also an artist, and with this temperature and the way that things can turn out, I don't want to start turning people off to films and to art that could change consciousness or change the world because they don't like my political opinions. I want to protect my...
Hey, everyone, I'm Joe.
All right. I get it. Look, it's true. You have no impact anymore. And B, there used to be a thing with actors and actresses where they were like, I don't want anyone to know anything about me because when I play the role of this, I don't want people thinking about...
want that in the back of their mind.
Yeah, gay or straight or where my politics are, really anything. I just want to disappear into these roles and then people won't have to have these preconceived anythings, and which is a human thing to do. If you heard a guy killed his wife or you heard a guy's
got a DUI, sometimes that happens. Like it affects your perspective. A DUI is no big deal to you?
It's not going to, it's acting wise. A DUI It's not one way or the other. It's an actor who went to a party who got drunk and then drove himself home. I don't think of him as a bad person per se.
Like he made a mistake. But killing your wife is like a very different type of mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So a DUI is something that can happen to somebody, but it doesn't make me think you're this way or that way.
Yeah.
It's a mistake you made, but it's not going to affect your role and what I think of your acting. But if you were into, if you just announced you were Muslim or into Santeria or something, then I'd be watching you thinking about that.
Really?
I would.
I don't practice Santeria, though.
Yes. Like the song. So sublime, right? All right. My point is this. A little more mystery and a little less history.
Got it.
That's the way I like to roll.
I think she and I might be similar ages. She's married now. She has a kid now. She's doing kind of more quote unquote serious art, where she used to do insane blockbuster movies like The Hunger Games or that one space movie with Chris Pratt. And I think that maybe she's being mature and introspective here. Now, I do take issue with her a little bit of like, well, what if I'm a part of something that can make a difference, like art that can make a difference? And,
I know.
And it's like, how much art? I do think that culture is important. I mean, politics is downstream of culture, is something that we talk about on the conservative side of the aisle all the time. But really, I don't think there's going to be a sole piece of art that Jennifer Lawrence or anybody else, Steven Spielberg or anybody else is a part of that's going to, quote unquote, change the minds of Trump voters.
Robert Pattinson, by the way.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. Now, okay, so here's, I should feel. Okay. The thing that always bothers me about all the blowhard celebrities is when they go, here's the time we're living in and here's what we're dealing with and all that. I always go, but as opposed to what? Like, we just got 4 years of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is sort of asleep at the wheel, kind of along for the ride. I mean, all your stuff that you called cheap fakes and stuff like that. At the time, I said, I don't know what you're even talking about. What is a cheap fake? It's video of him being out of it at a party.
Yep.
You're calling it a cheap fake, and then you're going, it's just a piece of, because the video, it's just a slice. I had a comedian in here arguing with me, like it's just a piece of the video.
It's not how he is all the time. That's what they're saying.
Going, the video is just a piece. I go, the P. Diddy video of him smacking the chick and kicking her in the hallway? Yep. That's just a piece of a video.
Yep.
There's a video that runs by the elevator 24/7, 7 days a week. Most of the time, there's nothing going on or a family walking to the elevator. Once in a while, P. Diddy kicks the shit out of his old lady, and then we cut it, and then we look at it, and then we judge P. Diddy. And you're saying that's edited.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Because otherwise we'd have to watch 700 hours of video to get to the part. So when Joe Biden is brain dead at the Juneteenth party on the lawn, yes, it's not the entire Shaka Khan concert.
Or the G7 summit, or going up and down the stairs.
It's not the entire thing. It's not the entire thing. It's a film of him falling down the stairs. It's not a film of him sitting on the airplane or sitting in the limousine on the way to the airplane. Yes, I got it. It's edited.
Yeah.
Everything is edited so we can see it. All surveillance, every piece of Ring doorbell footage where somebody steals a package and you put it on the news or tries to set a house on fire and it ends up on the news. That's edited from the nothing that was happening on the Ring doorbell camera before
whenever,
that.
like, the Channel 7 Eyewitness News at night has footage of.
So you guys invented something called a cheap fake.
Yep.
Now, you had a brain-dead, corrupt guy in the office for 4 years. You had a guy who was corrupt. His son was corrupt, cutting deals, enriching himself all over the place, a chronic liar, left the border wide open and used the auto pen and just has underlings run the country. So who are we comparing Trump to?
Yeah, that's true, because I think in 2016, leftists like Jennifer Lawrence were freaking out. And I think that maybe they're like, oh man, maybe we overreacted to too much, because if everything, we've talked about this many times before, if everyone and everything is Nazi, then like we're just jaded of hearing that all the time, so that we don't believe you when you say it.
Right.
But in 2016, people left, right, and center didn't understand or know how he would govern. Now we saw how Trump governed. Then we had the horrible, for us on the right, and most of America think, we saw the horrible 4 years of Biden governing. And now we have Trump again. And I think that maybe she's like, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
A reasonable person would go with any body. It could be a president, could be a camp counselor, or you're going, oh, we're not going to get Hildegard again. But if you got Hildegard once a summer ago and it was okay, then you're going to have her again. You can kind of go like, all right, I can deal with this.
Yeah.
That's what a person who didn't have Trump derangement syndrome would do.
It's
so
like,
maybe she's
It's like when you
that.
know that drive to LAX is going to take you an hour and a half. You're dreading it, but you are anticipating it. So it's not as bad because you can plan for it. You're saying that leftists have planned for Trump number 2?
I'm saying it's like you going nuts because you think it's going to take 12 hours to get to LAX, but it only takes an hour and 10 minutes.
Got it.
And then you have another LAX flight 2 years later, and while other people are going, oh my God, you're going, done it. It's longer than I'd like,
We'll
but
be okay.
we'll make it. Yes.
So Jon Stewart, kind of in this same vein, on the same day, talked about a similar thing of like, listen, we can't be ostracizing half of the country. Like, we need to have real relationships. Here we go, Jon Stewart.
He's a three-dimensional human being. And by the way, I love him. He's a three-dimensional human being who has qualities that I really admire, things about him. And we've lost that. We've lost the ability to love people.
Is he talking about Trump?
He's talking about an uncle.
Because we litmus
Oh,
test
okay.
at
I guess,
every
wait,
point.
is there a top of this or just he's talking about his uncle?
The clip's starting in a weird place.
Okay, he's talking about his uncle.
There is no top on this. This is a New
his
Yorker
uncle.
paywall.
He's talking about his uncle who voted for Trump.
Yeah, he's saying.
Okay,
he's
but
saying
we just
that he,
need to set it up in the clip because otherwise we don't know.
So
what
he
he's
was saying
talking
that
about.
he loves his uncle. He talked about this with New Yorker's David Remnick. I love a good argument. I love differing points of view.
All right, well, we can show the clip. We'll show the clip now. I thought he was talking about Trump. That's my problem.
Every single moment. And by the way, I love him.
My uncle.
He's a three-dimensional human being
My Uncle
who has
Stan.
qualities that I really admire,
Who's my uncle?
things about him. And we've lost that.
About my uncle.
We've lost the ability to love people
Like my uncle.
because we litmus test at every point, in every single moment.
Note the deep leg
Way,
cross.
I love him.
Put it back. Note the double deep leg cross.
Both dudes.
Yes, I'm a dude, and I'm from the left, and so the audience knows I'll go with the deep leg cross. So, I'm down with the community, and then it's the host who's interviewing the guy with the deep leg cross. I shall engage in the deep leg cross, so this is not going to be adversarial. It's not going to be a tough interview. Now my nuts have fallen asleep. Now I was thinking about this because people keep tweeting me now.
Oh gosh.
Because there's a new thing afoot, or maybe a nut, that the deep leg cross is a thing. There's a physiological thing going on.
Really?
Yes.
Is it changing like bone structure and stuff?
Progressives, on average, are like 30 pounds lighter than the Republican dudes.
Yeah. But
Republican dudes are just bigger dudes.
sometimes with fat, sometimes with muscle. Depends on what part of the country
Are
you're
just husky, a little bit of each. But they're built a little differently, whereas the Democrats are always like waif models. The dudes are always waif models. And so you can't get that deep leg cross if you got some thigh and some gut on you.
You're not going to be a hockey player or like a footballer.
No,
or
but
like,
they're all super wafy. So they're able to get the deep leg cross. Now, the thing that's probably tough is Pritzker. Because they got to go, listen, you're such a woke douche, but you're unable to do the deep leg cross because of your girth. So we really got to get you on a diet so you can signal it's a present. You present to the audience where you're at, that you have a soft, weak, feminine mind.
Yes.
Not that the feminine mind's weak, but you think like a chick.
I know what you meant. I
Cross your
understand.
legs like a chick. Pritzker can't do that. Now, when you take you take the Obamas And I mean, take a guy like Obama. Like Obama's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
63-year-old guy. He's unusually, these people are like
Very
unusually thin. Like there is no dad bod. Most guys kind of get into a dad bod as they get a little bit older. These guys never go into their dad bod or Beto O'Rourke or like any of the commentators. There's none of them. They're all not just like not fat, but like really fit. Like no waistline kind of thing.
I don't know if that's fit though.
Well,
they're just scrawny.
They're not like doing, what do they call that? What's the sport that they CrossFit? They're not like that.
It's
but
trademarked, so you might have to pay for that.
But they're most guys, when you get in your 50s and 60s, you just get a little bit of a waistline on you. And he doesn't, they don't have that. They just have this thing. I'm not saying they're, paragons of fitness. I'm just saying they don't have that weight on them. And like Justin Trudeau, like these guys, Gavin Newsom, they don't have that waist, so they can get a deep, Jon Stewart, like the list goes on. There's no husky guys in that group.
That's true.
So part of it is a physical part, so it's actual, they're able to pull it off.
And the other part is the liberal mental state of having to do the signaling with the leg crossing.
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe the leg cross also says I'm fit. Like women with long hair like throwing their hair around a lot. Like when they're talking, they'll take their finger and do that move, or they go, ugh, so hard
Just
with
have
this
to,
hair. Yeah, they'll throw it around. I don't know. I don't know why we're stopped on this.
This is the next story.
Oh, the next story. Oh, that's right, because we're going to talk about it. But anyway, you show me liberals on a stage, I will show you deep leg cross.
Oh, liberal men specifically.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
liberal men.
Yeah.
Liberal men.
No, I try
Yes.
to do the Princess Kate like ankle
Yes.
tilt.
Yes, side saddle. Like a young lady should.
Exactly. Just try to always follow what Princess Kate does, including ignoring Meghan Markle. Did you see her fake like sloppy kiss for Prince Harry after the Dodgers won the World Series?
Megan?
Yeah.
No.
It was so obnoxious.
Listen, you, first off, don't come over here from your land of cricket and pretend to know our baseball. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Soccer.
So this,
Ugh.
according to the Wall Street Journal, and this ties into the video here that we're going to play about the Angel City FC captains publicly condemning one of their teammates. But now there's more and more gay people. And by the way, I love how this is like new news to the mainstream media, because I've been hearing this for a very long time in LA and conservative circles. But people within the queer community, specifically queer activists, are upset and speaking out against the gender ideology of like trans people and how they've taken over the movement. There's this new book coming out by this guy named Ben Apple, and he was saying in his book, Cis White Gay, The Making of a Gender Heretic, it comes out next week, and he argues that gender ideology is, quote, illiberal, repressive, and anti-gay. As much as the cult that he was raised in, Lambs of Gods, was a fundamentalist sect, he says that he and an increasingly vocal group of gay men, lesbians, and bisexual people are now rejecting this. By the way, I have to give kudos to like the British lesbians, the ones that took all the way to the UK Supreme Court, protecting women's spaces and women's sports and not transgendering minors. They, like, shame on lesbian and liberal feminists here in the United States who didn't have the cojones to do the same thing, and kind of talking about what this guy is talking about. It's like, you claim to be a part of our coalition, yet everything that you're doing is damaging our coalition.
Right.
And I think case in point is you have this professional female athlete with the Angel City FC, Elizabeth Eddy, this week. The veteran midfielder, spoke up about the integrity of women's soccer.
This is the Los Angeles soccer team?
Yep. It's the women's soccer team.
Yuck.
So she's been in the National Women's Soccer League since.
This is, by the way, 3 strikes. It's got the word soccer, women, and Los Angeles in it.
Oh, God.
Done. 3 strikes and you're out, bitches.
You'd like this gal. Elizabeth spoke up this week calling on the National Women's Soccer League to adopt a clear sex-based eligibility policy to protect the women's category of sports. And then her frickin' team captain went and did this press conference and totally bashed her. Here's a video of that.
I love that they think it's okay. Number one, let me just say this. If you don't think it's okay for biological men to play with women, or you do think it's okay for biological men to play with women, let's not forget, before anyone cared, I think it was 2019, a Dallas, Texas under 15 high school team beat the women's national team 2 games in a row. So these are boys not from around the world or from around the United States, just from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
One place, under 15. That doesn't mean...
That could be professional women, because it turns out men and women are different.
By the way, under 15 is under 15. It means there could be 12-year-olds on that team for the dudes. Now, I'm guessing they were 14 or 15 and under, but there's always a couple of 13-year-old ringers out there. They beat the women's national team 2 games. So that's young guys and the advantage they have over women physically in a game which is soccer, which is fairly physical, but certainly not like football or basketball.
But if a trans woman is playing a biological woman, you can bet that there's going to be injuries on the soccer field.
Yeah.
I mean, soccer actually, I think, I need to Google this, but I think that soccer actually has a ton of injuries.
Yeah, there'll be injuries, and then it'll also be not as competitive, because what you're looking for in all sports is parity. You try to... F1 is F1 because they have all these rules, and they like add weight, and they have all this stuff because they will not let one car have an advantage over the other car. So we'll watch. It'll be very close. All motorsports is that way. Just parity, parity, parity. And if you're going to have one with an extra 200 horsepower, it's not going to be good for the sport.
Or the reason why people like to watch football, right? It's like, well, this QB has this record and this QB has this record, and let's see them go head to head. And it's the interest of that. I don't think that the average American wants to see a 6'2" transgender woman going up against biological women on the Angel City FC.
But let's see what this dumb cow has to say.
So this lady, it was horrible. Like to be a part of this team, if I were Elizabeth Eddy, I'd be like, peace, I'm leaving.
Let's hear what her teammate has to say.
Going into this, I'm a little bit nervous because I think it's a big job to represent your team and speak for your team, and not just that, speak for others who this will be important to. We've all obviously seen the article that was written in the New York Post earlier this week. So I really want to start off by saying that that article does not speak for this team in this locker room. I've had a lot of combos with my teammates in the past few days, and they are hurt and they are harmed by the article, and also they are disgusted by
how?
How are they harmed? What's the article say?
Did the article stab them in the face?
They're hurt and they're harmed as well. But what did the article say? Just said
this is the article from her teammate Elizabeth Eddy saying, "Hey, National Women's Soccer League needs to have a standard on this and adopt a clear standard." She's proposed that one option is that all players must be born with ovaries, as the FA requires, or another option was an SRY gene test like those at the World Athletics and boxing.
That's hurtful and harmful.
And that's harmful to the rest of her teammates.
Right. But I love at some point she'll get to as a woman of mixed race. I love the narcissism of all of it. But here we go.
Things that were said in the article, and it's really important for me to say that. And we don't agree with the things written for a plethora of reasons, but mostly the undertones come across as transphobic and racist as well. The article calls for genetic testing on certain players, and it has a photo of an African player as a headline, and that's very harmful. And to me, it's inherently racist, because to single out this community based on them looking or being different is absolutely a problem. And as a mixed woman with a black family, I'm devastated by the undertones of this article.
She's mixed with a black family.
I'm assuming that means she's married to a black man and has black kids. Right. So she's
maybe. Never know, they say. So she's mixed.
But
as a woman who's mixed, yes.
I think like how so I'm assuming that Elizabeth Eddy you've written articles before, I've written articles before. Sometimes my editor uses a picture I wouldn't have used. That doesn't mean that Elizabeth Eddy was like, hey, by the way, when I'm asking the National Soccer League to protect women in sports, I'm not saying that we need to genetically test black people. That was not referenced anywhere in the article.
No, they just
have to
tack
throw it in there.
They tack it on to everything all the time. And maybe it's their own thing because you have to have black representation. So if you're going to show a picture of a soccer player, maybe they just show reflexively like a black soccer player now. Because I don't know why there's a black soccer player in the thing, but obviously it has nothing to do with the author. And that's not what they're talking about. But she had to do the racing because it's weak. But also they do this thing where they go, obviously we disagree with much of what's in the article. Hey, bitch, spit it out. Tell us what you disagree with. Tell us specifically what you disagree with, and then we could have a discussion about it.
It's also like, is she kind of dumb? Because I think when she refers to the genetic testing, it's like it's testing that is sex eligibility test. It's not, are you Zambian or Ugandan or Southern Californian? And it's like specifically to figure out if you are having to play a potentially dangerous interactive sport against a biological male.
Well, then she's got her Dumbo white counterpart who's going to say something, which I like too, because she doesn't have anything to say.
Family. I'm devastated.
She's
by
devastated.
The of this article.
Devastated.
For me personally, when I think of
me personally,
LA,
hold on, pause it. This is the problem. For me personally.
But everybody else has
everybody's for me personally. Hey, bitch, let's just stick to the facts. But anyway, for her personally, what's the problem?
City, I think of a place that was founded upon inclusivity and love for all people. That's what our locker room is. That's what our staff is. That's what our fan base is. Angel City is a place for everyone. It always will be. That's how it was from the beginning. That's how it always will be. Period. And I think.
All right, hold on. This bitch can't think of stuff to say.
She's reading her notes. She has her phone out.
What we have right now is a place in Angel City. It's also named for a brewery, I think, in San Diego. It was founded on the promise of fairness for everyone, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be, and that's what it'll always be. And for me personally, Angel City's a oasis of fairness, founded on a bedrock of fairness.
Does she not know the history of LA, like of, the City of Angels, aka Catholic priests who came here and tried to convert
how long has
indigenous
soccer team
people?
been around? 200 years or like 18 months?
But she says like the city of Los Angeles, like she's implying that the history of LA is totally perfect towards, the oppressed
We're
people.
here for fairness, so like our concession stands or whatever you can afford.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Like
and tickets.
Tickets could be $80, but if you only have $2, then it'll be $2 and a T-shirt and a hoodie, which are normally $49.95. It's just whatever you can afford because we're built on fairness here in Angel City. Yeah, let's watch her one more time because she has zero to say.
She wrote it down too. See her looking at her notes on her phone?
I didn't even see her looking at her phone. Maybe she's been involved with too many headers. Sorry, let's hear it.
For me personally, when I think of
stuff,
LA and I think of Angel City
and stuff,
I think of a place that was founded upon inclusivity and love for all people. That's why our locker room is. That's what our staff is. That's what our fan base is.
It's been around since 2020.
Angel City is a place for everyone. It always will be. That's how it was from the beginning. That's how it always will be.
From now on, from the beginning.
And I think this situation, there's Lisa, you kind of touched on it. There's an element of timing to it where
it's always bad timing.
This feels like another really big challenge that we have to go through as a team on top of an already really challenging year.
So anyway, these guys from Texas
and it's definitely
didn't have
not
pubes,
the note
kicked our ass.
that we as a group want to end on. And so I just want everyone to know that we're doing our best in the locker room to preserve respect and belonging on this team.
And we need a sense of
we look forward to ending the season on as positive of a note as possible.
It's built on love.
By throwing your other teammate under the bus.
All right, Dumbo.
So Elizabeth Eddy, apparently people, even before this, were rumors were flying that her contract that it expires, I guess, this Sunday. and that it won't be renewed by the team.
You have to have a press conference to throw your teammate under the bus.
Teammate who's likely representing, I think, the majority, not only the majority of the viewers and the American voters, but maybe the majority of other women in other locker rooms all over the country that don't want to have to share that space or be,
people don't want to play
women's
women's sports with a dude. That's it. That's all. That's all there is. That's it. You can make as much as you want about race or about gender or about exclusivity or inclusivity. You can do whatever you want. Normal people don't want a dude on the girls' team. That's all.
And
that's
part
all.
of her, I don't
or in the bathroom or in the locker room. That's all.
I don't understand how we're supposed to be, yay, women in sports, and then lambast a woman in sports who said, quote, just as we built a new space for women to compete in the largest arenas, now we must honor that commitment and make sure that the National Women's Soccer League stays for women.
They're grievance. They're grievance people. By the way, it was 2000. I said 2019. It was 2017.
Okay.
When the women's team lost 5-2 to the dudes without pubes.
I think Ben Shapiro likes to use that reference.
Dudes without pubes?
No. Ben would never. I mean, the soccer example of just the difference, the physiological, biological difference of men and women.
I'm pretty sure an under 15 team could beat the women's Olympic basketball team as well. And I'll say this. There are literally hundreds of thousands of millions of dudes who at age 15 in this country can dunk a basketball. There's probably 3 women in the world who can dunk a basketball. And so they can play above the rim.
Yeah.
And if you can either play above the rim or
then
you can't.
Can beat the average WNBA player.
If you can play above the rim, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's probably been a couple of dunks in WNBA history, and those are kind of weak, and they're not kind of highlight dunks. They're sort of technically.
But they're highlighted and shown all over social media because they're so excited.
Well, look it up, Dawson. How many women in the NBA can dunk a basketball? And I would argue that there are some high school teams like in the inner city and stuff where everyone can dunk, but that's high school. That's not 15, but definitely because high school all-stars are LeBron James at 17 or 18 and Kobe Bryant at 17 or 18. These guys are world-class at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
They list about 4 players who can, but they say that there are fewer than 30 dunks recorded in the league's history since its inception in 1997.
Oh, wow.
As of 2025, 8 women have dunked in a WNBA game, whereas there's 8 dunks per quarter in a professional male game. But I would argue that when you watch the McDonald's All-Star team, the high school McDonald's basketball team, those guys can dunk, all of them. It's crazy. So there's absolutely the high school McDonald's All-Star team would beat the all-star team of the WNBA. The question is, could the before 15 and younger?
Yeah.
And I would go yes.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's a difference. And also, there doesn't need to be anything attached to it. It's just guys excel at this thing, and so you don't want the guys with the women because it's unfair to the women.
It's unfair to the women, and as we've seen in a lot of examples, it's physically unsafe to the women as well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's just the case.
All right. We good?
I think so.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to be in Boston at the Wilbur Theater coming up Thursday, and then off to Electric City in New York. Let's not forget that I'm at Cap City November 12th. And, God, who's on there with me? Oh, Brian Callum. Yeah, is going to be out with me. Yeah, Brian
That's
Callen.
fun.
Sorry, screwed that up. I was looking in the wrong direction. Had a little brain fart there. You can go to KRAUSS.com for all the live dates. Until next time, time for ELISHA KRAUSS, her op-ed at the Washington Examiner. And I want to thank Ryan Sickler and Gary Cannon. Until next time, Adam Carolla saying mahalo.